What is up, X? What is up, Rumble? Welcome back to the Ryan Matta Show. It's been a long time, but today's the day. We got a lot of shit going on with Epstein and a lot of other crazy stuff, but I haven't done a dedicated Bitcoin live stream like this since my second day on LFA TV, and Bitcoin was around $20,000, and I was screaming at everybody to buy, 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 buy. I shared this over in where this is a public live stream, but I shared it over in the subscribers only over on X just to kind of get everybody's attention, because what we're seeing right now in the charts on Bitcoin, it's, in my personal opinion, like a once in a lifetime opportunity. As in, the signals that we're getting right now that are saying that we're like super close to bottom on Bitcoin is, it only happens once every couple of years. And I'm going to show you guys the charts. I'm going to break it down. I think right now, between like, what are we at, like 77,000 right now? Maybe we're going down to 60 in that range. But this is the opportunity of a lifetime to buy. And I'm going to show you guys these charts, and they're probably going to blow your mind if you guys aren't into Bitcoin, or if you guys are into Bitcoin. Now is a really important time. And I kind of, with all the, yo, Ken B, what up, brother? Good to see you, Ken. What's going on? Dark Lemon, we got Chubby Cherry in the house. Good to see everybody. It's been so long since we've done a crypto live stream. So we're going to pull the charts up here. I wish I had more time to actually get set up, and something sounds like it's not working with my audio for some reason. I don't know if yeah, maybe it's just me. Normally I can hear myself coming back in my headphones, but for some reason I can't hear myself right now. So I don't know if I got a button off here or what. The yo. Nah, well, we'll figure it out. Let's just get right into it. I want to give everybody a second to jump in the stream, but man, this is such an awesome opportunity. If you guys are into Bitcoin, you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. If you're not into Bitcoin, you're about to figure it out real quick. Let's throw the live chat over here so I can see you guys. Give me a second. It's been a long time since I've done a live stream, and I was kind of just looking at the charts, and I was like, holy shit, we haven't seen this in 2 to 3 years. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? Oh shit, I don't got the scrolling thing here on the bottom. Let me grab this real quick. Move this over here. Wow. There we go. All right, that's where you guys can follow me. Oh yeah, and I got the my ticker changed there at Ryan Matta, so it's not media. There we go. Oh shit, didn't want to do that. That's what we wanted to do. All right, now we're up there. All right, cool. So taking a look at the chart on Bitcoin, you have what's called your relative strength index. This is this indicator right here. And I went through here and I marked out. So this is just a white line, and it basically tells you like the momentum, like the buying pressure. So you can see if we scroll over here, we zoom in on it. This is on the monthly time frame. So like, let's if we switch over to like the daily time frame really quick. I'll show you guys some cool stuff here in the charts. It's really interesting because these signals are so rare, and we don't get them very often. But if you take a look like right here, this is like your momentum indicator, and you can see our momentum indicator is still going up and up and up. And then even when we get over to here, you can see price right here in this range is still going up, but yet your momentum is going down. That lets you know that there's still demand. People are still willing to pay a higher price for the asset, but the amount of people that are willing to pay a higher price for that asset is going down. Got it. So where I'm going with that is, let me just remove this stuff from the chart here. You get these signals every couple years. So this is what's called bullish divergence or bearish divergence. When price is going up, but momentum is going down, that's a big warning sign to sell, right? And you can see here at the top of this chart right here, where there's a white dotted line here. And I almost want to zoom in on this, but I assume you guys can probably see that white dotted line there. That white dotted line is the white solid line is above the white dotted line. Actually, let me just go into the settings of this thing. And there they are. Where are the settings on the RSI? Settings. And let's go and change. I can't change it. I don't know. There's normally like a settings indicator here on this indicator. There it is. And let's just make these yellow. That way it's easier for you guys to hear what I'm saying and see what I'm saying. We'll make them thicker so you guys can see them really well. Come down here, make these yellow, make them thicker. There we go. Okay. So when the white line breaks above the yellow line, that is your sell indicator. Like if you just look at the chart and you're like, okay, I don't have to know anything about buying Bitcoin, but anytime I see that white line above the yellow line, probably not the best time to buy. And if you just take a look from the peak where it went down to, now if you take a look at the opposite of that, and you say, okay, we almost never, ever make it to the bottom of this yellow line, right? But we get really close. And I put this blue line here to kind of simulate where about the average of bottom was, probably like right there. So anytime you see that white line touching down by this blue line, you can kind of see that you're close to bottom, okay? And I'm going to put this back on the monthly time frame. I'm going to show you how obvious it was. And people always get the FOMO. They're afraid of missing out. They think it's the buying opportunity of a lifetime, and they end up buying at the absolute top. But if you would have just taken some time and looked at the chart, right? This is what all the bots trade off of. This is what all the billionaires and billionaires trade off of. These are the signals. Specifically, the RSI is probably one of the biggest buy and sell signals that bots and professional traders use. So we're on a monthly time frame. And I kind of just wanted to show you, right? So this blue line right here that we're getting really close to touching right now with our white line, I'm almost positive it's going to come down and touch this blue line. The last time it did that was in 2022. The time before that was 2020. The time before that was 18. The time before that was 14. And the time before that was 11. Now, I'm not saying today you absolutely have to buy. I'm saying you're going to get at least a 3-month, if not a 6-month window. Okay. And price is probably going to come down quite a bit more from where it's at. But I want to show you the time frames. And I'm going to go all the way back to 2011 because I think it's really important. You know, everybody's talking about buy my gold, buy my affiliate this, buy my affiliate that. And I'm like, I'm the only one in the political realm that has been relentless telling you guys, number one, stack Bitcoin like your life depends on it. If you have to sell a kidney to do it, I told you to do that at 20,000. And then get your wealth out of America. Start looking for real estate investments outside of this country. Once you acquire a whole Bitcoin, you got your whole Bitcoin, you're good. Your family's going to be set for all of eternity. Then start looking at cash flow generating assets that are going to generate you cash flows outside of America. So outside of that, I'm just relentless on Bitcoin because, you know, I would say probably at least 50 to 75% of my audience doesn't have $10,000 in free capital to drop anywhere. So if you don't have 10,000 in capital, then you're never going to be able to buy real estate. I mean, you can go into Tanzania, right? I could find you some real estate deals outside of America, but you're going to have to go deep into these third world hellholes. And I don't think you want to do that. So if you can't do that, how do you project your wealth into the future without getting crushed by our government? There's only one option to do that, and it's right here, okay? So we're not going to worry about 11 because 11 was, I mean, it's going to be the same thing, same kind of concept, but Bitcoin was so early on then. We're going to start in 2014. So in 2014, this thing tells us the amount of days, right? So when we broke down and we finally touched down on that blue line, right? From the day that we touched that blue line to the day that we would have broken back up above price, where price was the day that it touched that blue line. So it was at 295. It crashed down to 169. And then it stayed below 276/295 for this entire period of time. So anywhere in this zone over a 294-day period would have technically been the buying opportunity of a lifetime. And if you would have stacked in that zone and just held for, let's just say the last day you bought on, and you would have held for 833 days, so a couple years, you would have accumulated a profit of 9,694%. 9,000% gains on that investment. So if we just pull up a percentage calculator, so what was it? 9,000. We'll just say it was an even 9,000%. And let's just say you put in $10,000. What would have been your return on investment? $900,000. So your $10,000 investment would have turned into $900,000 over an 800-day period. Seems like a pretty good opportunity, right? Well, let's just see if we can project it in the future. So let's go to 2018 and let's take a look at the same concept here in 2018. And I know if you guys are in the political space, you don't give a shit about crypto. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to educate people because this is your only opportunity to escape the matrix, in my God's honest opinion. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's probably going to take you 4 to 8 years to fully, completely become a sovereign individual and have capital. Now, we're going to get into after this, I'll show you how much your Bitcoin is going to appreciate and how you really truly escape the matrix. But just stick with me so you can understand why, like right now, if you own no Bitcoin, now is the time to start buying. And you shouldn't stop buying probably for the next 6 to 8 months until we touch this blue line and then come back above that blue line. And once price really starts to rip back up to the upside above that blue line. But if you see it touch that blue line, okay, and let me show you how to do this. So this is Trading View. If you're new here, and you just go over into your chart settings here, which we can get to by right here. This is your RSI indicator. So you're going to go into indicators and you're just going to type in RSI and you can get a Trading View account for $10 a month. So relative strength index, we've added it to the chart. Yours is going to look like this when you first get it. So you need to customize it so you're going to get the same readings as mine. So what I'm doing is I have mine set to 30, which means I'm taking an overall sample of the last 30 days and I'm plotting this purple line. Ours is white. I changed the color on it. Okay. So if it says 14, you're going to get the signals a lot earlier, right? But almost in the same spot. Like this would have given me one here, except for touching my blue line, it goes all the way down to the bottom. But a lot of times it goes way, way above here and you get some signals that they're just not as accurate. I think that if you change the settings, so if you go into your settings here and you're looking for inputs, you're just going to change this to 30, the top one to 30. We're going to turn off the lower one, but you can just change them both to 30 for whatever reason. Styles over here, and you're going to go ahead and we're going to turn off the yellow one. Okay, because we just want just the RSI reading. We don't want that other simple moving average. And then if you really want to do the same thing I did, you're going to go over to your visibility. You're going to change your upper bands to yellow, make them thicker. Change your lower bands to yellow, make them thicker. And then your RSI band, you want white. Oh, not your middle line. That one we're just going to turn to 0. And then I turned my RSI to white, right? Okay, so now you got the kind of same setup. 30, 30, it's all matching. That's how you set up that indicator. Now this is where you're looking at on this chart, okay? So now you kind of can have the idea. Anytime you see it go below that blue line, and I have that blue line set at about 38 over here, so you can move it up and down. Blue line is just this button right here. You just take it, you drag yourself a blue line. It could be yellow, it could be purple, whatever color you want it. Just give yourself a straight line across there, right around the 37, 38 mark. And anytime you see that white line touch down here, you kind of got a good buy signal. Okay, so let's go back to 2000 and where were we at the first one? We did 14. Let's do 18. So I also want to show you this too, okay? So this Bitcoin cycle in 2014, it went from $1,357 all the way down to $169. That was 87.28% off. In 2000 and, move this up here. In 2018, it went from 22,000 all the way back down to about 3,000. That was 84% off. In this cycle right here, and sorry, in 20, in like from 19 to 20, it went from like 7 or 8,000 all the way down to 3,000 something. That was a 71% off, but that was the COVID-19 stock market collapse. That period of time, you only had like a week or 2 weeks to really get some good buys on that. If you weren't pretty much buying at the second it collapsed that day, you weren't going to get the opportunity. And then we come over here to the 2021 collapse, and we ended up going down. In the first 2021 collapse, we went from, it took a long time to get all the way down to bottom, but we technically went from like 66 or 67,000 all the way down to 15,000. That was 80% off. So if we just take a look right now, if we come down to 51,000, right, you're looking at a 60% off, 80% off from top. You're talking about price coming all the way back down to, just to get 80% off, you're talking about 25,000. And I just don't see it. I don't think it's going to happen. I think there's too many institutional buyers and too many massively large players to drive price down that much. But we've seen what they've done with silver over the last couple of decades. These hedge funds and ETFs are printing fake Bitcoin out of thin air. I don't think they're actually holding the assets that they say they're holding. So especially BlackRock, right? So anyways, long story short, I feel like my personal target right now, based off of this chart, is anywhere between 51,000 and 77,000. I think that's a fairly opportunity. I definitely think you got plenty of more room to come down here before the white touches the blue. But I think you're going to find bottom somewhere in this massive area of support. We topped out here at 66,000. We topped out here at 71,000. We had a little break here at 72,000. We came down again and found support at 49, between 49 and 53 range, 56 range. So I think we're headed down to $70,000 to $51,000 range. Anywhere in this area, you could say maybe we go. If it keeps pushing down, something collapses, maybe 39,000. Now, you're also looking at maybe we get triggered by a war in Iran. Anything, any black swan event could send Bitcoin in either direction. You know, the war with Iran, the collapse of the US dollar would be guaranteed if we strike Iran. So maybe we do see the collapse of the dollar and you see Bitcoin fall all the way to 26%. Or maybe we see what we've seen over in Germany under the Biden administration when their currency started to hyperinflate. We've seen the biggest massive run into Bitcoin that we've ever seen. So I think the people are primed and realize that the dollar is collapsing. It's going to zero. It's absolute shit. We've seen silver ripping. If you guys have been stacking silver, we did that too. Not intentional. I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. You know, I'm not really a big fan of gold and silver, but I was sitting on some dollars this summer. Or actually not this summer. This was back when I was on LFA TV with you guys. And we ended up stacking like, I don't know, a bunch of gold and silver between, I think silver was at about 20, gold was at 1,800 or something like that. And gold's sitting up at like, I don't know, 5,000 or 6,000. Silver's sitting at or 4,000 or 5,000. Silver's sitting at what, like $80 now? So I think these are some really good opportunities. We take a look at silver. Silver's at $79. And the same thing, right? Look at silver, right? So we pull up the same chart on silver on the weekly time frame and look where you're at. Right? Everything was screaming. I mean, absolutely screaming. We're putting in a top on silver. We're putting in a top on silver. We're putting in a top. But if I take that back, you know, look at where it gave you the first signal at. It was saying right here, hey guys, we're at top. And that's why I think you've seen a lot of big players starting to put short positions in here. And then as price started to go up, they're all like, oh yeah, we're topping. And then it just kept going and it kept liquidating and forcing those short sellers to buy in. Drove price all the way up to $119. Obviously, there were some world events, what we did in Venezuela, the Chinese shutting down the silver exports. But yeah, your signals were there. So that's why I'm saying your signals are there on Bitcoin right now. And I think that this is the time that you guys really want to start paying attention. Bitcoin dominance, meaning the amount of Bitcoin in the whole crypto space versus every other cryptocurrency combined. You know, Bitcoin makes up about 60%, 66% to about 57. It's back up to 59 right now. They say that you normally see a bull run start when Bitcoin dominance gets back up above, like it's in this range, right? And we're kind of creeping up on there right now. So that's normally what you happen. You have a bull run, right? That starts. Bull run drives a ton of people into shitcoins. People start buying shitcoins. The value of the shitcoins increases in Bitcoin. You know, the value of the shitcoins are going like this and Bitcoin's going like this, right? So your shitcoins are gaining more value than the Bitcoin. So it kind of offsets the dominance, how much of Bitcoin. Now, what triggers the altcoin season is when Bitcoin dominance breaks back below the 60 mark or the 70 mark. I forget what we were using back in the day, but this was the indicator that I was using, Bitcoin dominance, and how I was one of the first people to say that the bull run was over in the 2020 bull run. Okay. So all these indicators help you out a lot. My favorite of which being RSI, your relative strength index. So we're not quite there yet, but this is definitely something I just kind of wanted to say, hey guys, pay attention to this. You're watching this. You're watching the dollar hyperinflate. You're watching your government become tyrannical beyond means that we ever thought possible. You're watching Pam Bondi and the Trump administration cover up the Epstein files. You know, we're not getting mass deportations. We're not getting anything we voted for. But at the same time, you know, Trump is now one of the number one holders in America of Bitcoin. Eric Trump just built one of the largest Bitcoin mining facilities in the state of Texas. Bitcoin's not going anywhere. And if you really want the opportunity to get your family out of the rat race, I think it's ever more important that you start paying attention to, okay, how do I acquire assets that are going to generate me money and help me create generational wealth for my family? Now, I'm putting together a digital course. I'm going to be joining a group of a couple guys. They needed like a finance guy. So I told them I'd be that guy. So let me just show you a little sneak peek of this presentation I've been working on, as long as I didn't delete it. Okay, right? So let me make myself a little smaller. And I'm going to show you the power of Bitcoin and why you don't want to save in any asset but Bitcoin. It's a little outdated, but it'll still work. Should be the same concept here for you guys. Okay, so in 2012, your dream house, and we'll just say this is a 3-bedroom, ranch house, 1-acre lot, just your average house in America. So in 2012, a dream house, 3-bedroom ranch house, would have cost $250,000. That would have cost you 19,230 Bitcoin. Go to 2016, that same house, Bitcoin is now $430. Because of inflation, it's the same exact house, but the value of that house increased to $340,000. Okay. That house now only costs you 790 Bitcoin because Bitcoin's no longer $13, it's 430. Okay. And this is all based off of January 1st of each year. Okay. So January 1st of 2020, same house, now valued at $420,000. Bitcoin, $7,200. You can now buy your dream house with 58 Bitcoin. So in 2012, if you would have bought 58 Bitcoin at $13, oops, not 2012, 13 times 58, $754. So if you would have made a $754 investment into Bitcoin in 2012, and you would have held it for 8 years, that $750 investment could have bought you a $420,000 house. Ain't that some shit? 58 Bitcoin. January 1st of 2024, that same house is now $530,000. Bitcoin was only $42,000. So that same dream house now only costs you 12 Bitcoin. When you save in Bitcoin, even though the rest of the world is getting more expensive, everything you do on a daily basis is increasing in value, it's still getting cheaper in Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Especially over a 4-year period. Now we can go a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole. So I said Bitcoin's price every year. This is the price of Bitcoin every year. And these are the gains that you would have made each year if you would have bought it the year before. 5,910%, 9,900%, 116%, 5,780. This year, 2015, you would have actually lost. Some years Bitcoin does go down. But my preface is over a 4-year period, over the worst 4 performing years of Bitcoin, back to back to back, how did the asset perform? So I went over here and I said, identify the years with the highest return on investment. The years with the highest return on percentage gains are 17, 13. Okay. And I said, okay, well, exclude all of those. I don't want to take the best performing years of Bitcoin. I want to take the worst performing years of Bitcoin. I'll take out the best 5 performing years and take the worst 10 performing years, average them all together, and tell me what my average return on investment would have been. And the average return on investment minus the top 5 years was 73%. That's compounding interest, right? So what that means is if I had, let's just say $1,000 today and I put it into Bitcoin, okay, times 0.73 equals, so plus 1,000. So after the first year, my 1,000 turned into $1,730. And when I say in the thousands, people don't like it. They're like, oh, it's only $1,000. Let's do it with $1 million times 0.73, right? So you're going to get $1.7 million plus 1 million. Oops. 1.73 million. So that's just in the first year. Your 1 million turns into 1.73 million. Now the next year after that, at 73% return on investment, it's going to gain another 73%. So times 0.73 equals 1.26 plus your 1,730. 730,000 equals. So at a 73% at a 73% return. And we're going to boil this down because every year is not going to be 73, but if it was, in 2 years, your 1 million turns into 2.9 million. Okay. So now I said I want to take this a step further. And I wanted to go into the historical price of Bitcoin, and I wanted to find out, okay, if we take the worst 4 performing years of Bitcoin back to back to back to back to back. So if I bought Bitcoin today and I held it for 4 years, what is the worst that my ROI is going to be over that 4-year period? And Grok comes up with a calculation of 28%. A 28% ROI, okay? So what does that look like for the average person? So you could do this, and it's all percentage basis. So this is the part I want to really drive home to the audience. Doesn't matter if you have $1,000, doesn't matter if you have 10 or a million. It's all on percentage basis. You put $1,000 in your bank account today, a year from now, that 1,000 is going to be there. You're going to have exactly 1,000. And maybe the bank gave you 5% interest. You got $1,050, whatever the case may be. Since Trump took office, the value of the dollar is down like 18%, 20%? We just round up and say 20. So that means you once could purchase $1,000, bought you $1,000 worth of stuff. But now your $1,000 worth of stuff under the Trump administration is only actually buying you $800 worth of shit because the dollar is devaluing. So you have to figure out a way to compound your wealth. Even if you have $1,000, great. Could you not use an extra $700 and something for free that you're not going to have to do anything to work for or to get? You see what I'm saying with this? So just watch this over a 4-year period. This blows your mind. And then I'm going to teach you what about escape velocity. Okay, so let's do this. Well, we'll break it down first, and I think I got it all broke down in this next slide, okay? So your 1 million or your 1,000, your 1 million at a 28% interest rate. After the first year, you have 1.28 million. Year 2, your 1.28 million turns into 1.63. Your 1.63 turns into 2.1. 2.1 turns into 2.683. So over a 4-year period, your 1 million would turn into 2.683 million. Your 1,000 would turn into $2,683. You're doing no work. Your assets just compounding and gaining value and gaining value and gaining value. Okay. So this 4-year period was like 761,000 million percent. So if you would have started stacking in 2009 when it was sub 1 penny and you would have rode that just to $754, you would have had like 761 million percent gains. Okay. That's Satoshi. That's like the OGs that were mining Bitcoin day one. They made out like kings. Okay. So this is at a 73% return on investment. So let's just say Bitcoin did appreciate at a 73% return on investment for the next 10 years. Your $100,000 today would turn into $23.99 million. And so people in the audience are like, you're crazy, Ryan. Am I? Well, it's done this almost every year consistently for the last 15 years. So I think there might be a little bit more to this story. Okay. Then I went on here in another one, and I hope I have it on here. And I don't think I do. Yeah, damn it, I don't. I was going to show you escape velocity. Let me see if I save this in another file. Our Bitcoin for babies. Oh, I think I did it here. Okay. So let me just walk through this. 28%. Okay, yeah, here it is. Okay. So this is how you hit what we call in the Bitcoin world, coined by the creator Eric V. Stacks. And it's called Bitcoin escape velocity. So you have to determine what you want your standard of living to be. And then we can calculate how much Bitcoin we need to acquire. So let's just say for me to live comfortable and ride off into the sunset and never have to worry ever again about money, I want a $100,000 a year lifestyle. So every year I want to be able to spend $100,000 and I want to be set for life. Like imagine if your 401k, like how much, that's kind of like your goal. Like I need to save into my 401k so that way when I retire at 65, I can pull out X amount of money out of my retirement and I'm never going to go bankrupt. And the idea is that you hopefully get your retirement account so big that the interest that it makes every year covers the amount that you're pulling out. That way your whole value of your 401k kind of stays the same, and it can continue to stay the same or grow even, right? So we want ours to grow, and I want to live a $100,000 a year lifestyle. So that means I need to save 10 times that in Bitcoin just for roughly a 4-year period. Okay, that's all I need to do. So I need to get $1 million in Bitcoin, and I need to lock it for 4 years. And then after that 4-year period, I should be able to pull out $100,000 every year, and the value of my investment still continue to grow for all of eternity. It's such a brilliant concept, right? This is how we are going to fortify this child trafficking rescue organizations into perpetuity into the future. Because you build a Bitcoin treasury for them, you lock it in there for 4 years, and if you can raise 10 times the operational cost, after that 4-year period, you can pull out the operational cost every month, pay all your employees, pay your salaries, pay all your staff, buy all the food, buy everything the girls need, and the value of your treasury continues to grow and continues to grow. So check this out. Okay, so we start with our 1 million. After the first year, it turns into 280,000 at a 28% return on investment. So this one I just gave you the ability to touch right away, right? Okay, so your 1 million, the first year turns into 1.28 million. It's 28% ROI. But let's say I want to take out my $100,000 to live. Okay, so you have your 1.28 million minus your 100,000 gives you 1.18 million. So now we need to go, okay, 1.18 million times 28% equals $330,000, right? So that would give you a new total now. You add that minus your 100,000 to 1.5 million. Okay, so you start the next year over, you got 1.5 million now. Because your asset, you took $100,000 out of it, but it gained 330. Okay, so 1.8 plus 330 is 510. Your 1.5 million minus your 100,000 for your living expenses gives you 1.4 million. Now you 1.4 million times 28% return on investment gives you $395,000. That puts your nest egg up to 1.18 million. Okay, so we start with 1.8 million. We take out our 100,000, gives us 1.7 million times our 28%, 476,000. So after a 4-year period and taking $400,000 out of your account, or sorry, $300,000 out of your account, you're sitting at a total nest egg of $2,176,500. Can anybody show me an asset, an investment, a business? Hey, Ryan, can I borrow $1 million for what? Oh, I want to start a fucking bar. How much is your bar going to make me? Well, I'm going to break even for the first 3 years. Then after that, I should make about 10 or 15% return on investment on my year per year. Okay, what's your risk? Everything. If the business collapses, I lose everything. Okay. Well, that sounds like a fucking horrible idea, stupid. Why the fuck would you start a business that's going to make you 15% per year and you're going to break even for the first 3 years when you can just buy Bitcoin? And if you hold it for a 4-year period, you're guaranteed to have a 28% return on investment over that 4-year period every year, compounding. So even taking out $300,000, your million still turns into 2.16 million. Or now if you left it in there, right? We did that up here somewhere. If you didn't take out your 100,000, right? If you could have left it locked for 4 years, you would have started your 1 million would have turned into 2.68 million. And then you start adding the calculations in, right? So just imagine if this number would have been 2.68 million, what your total nest egg would have been at the end of this, which is your 28% return on investment minus your 100K. So this is why I keep telling everybody, like, people call Bitcoin a scam. I'm like, how? It's not backed by anything. Okay, stupid. We've heard that. What the fuck is the US dollar backed by? Air? Jerome Powell? A couple strongly worded letters by fucking Pam Bondi? What exactly is the US dollar backed by? Usury? I don't know. I'm asking for a friend. This is why I keep driving the fact home. If you guys are just joining us, the reason we're talking about this aspect of Bitcoin is because we just went over the charts over here and we're very, very close to putting in a bottom. We're getting there. We're not quite there yet, but you know, we go ahead and we go back to we zoom in on this chart here. We really were to try to pinpoint where we actually came down and made bottom at. That green line is honestly more accurate, right? I put the blue line here. Let me change that to blue now. I put the blue line there just to be extra safe, right? So we are so close to touching this green line that 2022 is the last time we actually came all the way down to the blue line. So that's why I say you're not guaranteed to come down here and touch this blue line. I would say you're pretty close to being guaranteed to touching the green line, right? We ain't quite there yet, but we might never come down to this blue line. And that's why I say that your buying range on Bitcoin is in this box right here between 70, you could even go 75,000 if you really wanted. I would say 75,000 to 48, 50,000, somewhere in this range. 50,000 to 75,000 is the opportunity of a lifetime, you know? And you hope you buy at 75,000 and then it goes down to 65,000, right? Because if you buy at 75 and it goes down to 65, that's an opportunity of a lifetime. If you buy at 65 and it goes down to 60, opportunity of a lifetime. You buy at 60 and it goes down to 55, opportunity of a lifetime. Everybody wants to predict bottom, right? But I can't tell you the amount of friends that I had over here when we came up off this in 2022 and I made that video on LFA TV. Bitcoin was just coming up here. It was at 19,000, 20,000, right over here. The first week of February when I started over here on LFA TV. And Bitcoin was right here around the $20,000 mark. My second show on LFA TV. I dedicated an entire show. It's my worst show I've ever done, worst performing show. And nobody gave a shit. But I do listen. I look back at it now, and I'm sure, you know, the thousands of people that watched that episode probably look back and go, holy fuck, Ryan was telling us to buy Bitcoin at fucking 16,000, 18,000, 20,000, 25,000. The amount of friends that I had that watched Bitcoin run, and think about this, it ran from 15,000 all the way up to 25,000. It's 100% run up. Everybody's like, oh, bro, it just ran up 100%. It's going to come back down. I'm going to wait. I don't know, man. Bottom looks like it's in. They were waiting up in here in the $26,000, $25,000 range, and they sat there for 230 days. They had the opportunity to buy Bitcoin at 25,000, and they told me, I'm waiting for it to come back down to 15. All right. Well, you waited, and you're never going to see 15,000 again. All the signals right here, again, if we use the green line when we should buy, anytime we're below the green line should be a buy. Well, then if you just stop buying right when it breaks above the green line, you would have got all your money into Bitcoin by 21,000. So we're sitting over here. We're really damn close to that green line again. I think these are buy signals. Now, worst case, best case technically, is you're paying attention to this. You're going to need to have money on an exchange. So this is something that you want to kind of come over to my YouTube channel. And, oh shit, Candace Owens is live right now. I was supposed to be doing that. Damn it. Okay. We're going to go watch Candace Owens after this. So if you guys aren't watching Candace, swing over there and check her out. If you just come to my actual YouTube channel, there is a video here. These are all Bitcoin tutorials. So if you need to know anything about wallets, how to set up bots, I did all this guy for you. All my digital courses are all free. They're all out there for you guys. But right here, how to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase. If you guys are outside the United States, Bybit's my favorite. All my affiliate links are down below. If you want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But you don't have to. I just want to see you guys stack Bitcoin. If you don't want to use my affiliate links, tell me to fuck off. I don't care. I make like a fucking penny or a few dollars off it. It's not a big deal. But this is Coinbase. It's the easiest one to set up here in America. I like Bybit and Binance better, but Coinbase is the most user-friendly. They charge the highest fees. So if you're just going to buy 5,000 one time, you bite the bullet, you pay the fees. It is what it is. It's Coinbase. It's the biggest ripoff, but it's the most user-friendly. You could be 60 years old. In this video, in 13 minutes, I'll walk you through how to go to Chase Bank. And it's the same concept, right? You can, I'm connecting Chase Bank to Coinbase. You can connect Bank of America. I think it gives you, and I walk you through it too. I cover everything up, but I show you guys step by step how to recognize it, how to connect it. You're connecting Chase Bank to your recipient. When you do this, before you choose the bank, there it is right there. So you got Bank of America, American Express, Lake Michigan, Huntington, any bank that you pretty much have, you can search here, and it's like connecting a Facebook page, super easy. But what you want to make sure is you have your capital ready, because sometimes it might take a day or 2 days to verify. When you see these once in a lifetime flash crashes, you want to be ready for them, right? The biggest one, in my opinion, was right here during COVID. In this 1 week period, Bitcoin basically fell from 8,000 all the way down to 3,800, being the opportunity of a lifetime. Now let's go on to a daily time frame, and I'll show you, you really only had 1 or 2 days to buy at bottom. So this is the daily time frame, right? So we were on this day, you're at 8,100. By the end of that day, you're at 4,700. The next day, for a very short period, you went from basically 5,000 at the bottom of that candle all the way down to 3,800. You had 1 day to buy below 4,000 there. You had 1 day. 1 day to buy Bitcoin below 4,000. And if you were not paying attention that day, and we can even go down to like a couple hour time frame, we'll go down to the 1 hour time frame and try to see it on the 1 hour time frame. Damn, that's going to take me a long time to get there. Yeah, I can't do that. I need more, do a 4 hour time frame. Nope. Can't do it on a 4 hour time frame. So just daily time frames, all you're going to get. You probably had like I said, a few hour window in that range. I bet you at the most 4 hours. I remember trying to buy Bitcoin that day with my friend. My buddy hit me up and he's like, hey, Ryan, he's like, Bitcoin just collapsed. He's like, should we buy one? I'm like, fuck yeah. He's want to go half? I'm like, yeah, how much? He's like, it's like $4,000. I'm like, all right, cool. So he put a limit in order at 4,000. Then went up to like 4,200. So it's 4,200. I'm like, buy. Tried to buy one there and it just kept going up and up and up and up. And before we knew it, it took off. It was like 6,000. And we was like, oh, we missed it. Oh, we missed it. Oh, we missed it. Looking back, what an opportunity of a lifetime that would have been. It ran all the way up to 64,000. So that's why I say it's important to get your capital on the exchange. Now is the time to buy. You never want to leave your Bitcoin on the exchange. That's probably the single most important thing I can ever teach you. And if you go, again, back to my channel, and you just look at my tutorials, just click my video tab. Okay. This is the wallet you want, in my personal opinion. If you're going to hold anything over $10,000, you want a cold card. You want to understand how that works. A gentleman by the name of BTC Sessions is the best. I won't even tell you to watch my tutorial because you'll just waste your time compared to this dude. BTC Sessions, this man is an absolute fucking legend, right? Cold card, #1 video on his channel right there. First video you see. No, not cold card. You want the Q card right there. Q card right here. This is the one you want. This is the card you need to use. Use this card, this wallet right here. The easiest, best, not the easiest to learn how to use because it's a multi-sig air-gapped crypto wallet. Very, very important, but guaranteed your Bitcoin is never getting taken in by anybody. As long as you know how to back up your seed phrases, which that you can actually go to my channel to do, which is right here, somewhere in here. Right here, seed phrase. How to back up your private keys. This will be the most important video. You guys are over here in the live chat. I'll share it with you. That's the absolute best. The best thing you can do for yourself is understand how to back up these keys. Okay, your keys are a password. They're 12 words. These are metal plates. I walk you guys through it. You guys see me. I have a stamp set and I'm literally hammering in. I'm hammering in letters into metal and I'm spelling out words. And you're going to have 12 to 24 words, depending on mine. I always do the 24 word seed phrase. They sell these little things so you can kind of set it in there. This is what I'm doing on actual washers. It's really cool. Let me see if I can see. Okay, here's your seed phrases, right? So when you download the wallet or you open the little cell phone looking BlackBerry device and you create a new wallet, when you create that new wallet, it's going to give you a set of private keys. Your private keys are just words, right? So like if I wanted to put this wallet that you see, this is a wallet. This is what your password, your master password. So if somehow somebody could guess those words, you'd be cooked. You lose all your Bitcoin. But once you download a wallet on a phone, the phone's going to ask for those private keys. I type those into my phone. One is tooth, two is dismissed. They have to be in exact order. They shouldn't be case sensitive. I think they're all lowercase. But those 12 words in order, and then boom, I can see my Bitcoin. It's in my wallet now. So if I break this phone, like once the wallet is activated on this phone, I never need to put those keys in again. I never need that secret password. I'm going to put it on a metal plate and I'm going to hide it in a safe somewhere, safe place that you know, and you do it in metal in case your house burns down, you're not losing those words. Okay. Bitcoin's on my phone breaks. In the chip on this phone, these 12 words are stored on an encrypted chip inside your phone. Okay. If the phone breaks, that chip is gone and those words aren't there. So in order to buy a new phone, download the wallet again, you go to open your wallet, it's not synced to your Google account, it's not connected to your email, it's these 12 words. And the reason that it's 12 words and it's not connected to an email, people are like, oh, I wish it was Google. Well, yeah, if it was Google and Google could unlock your Bitcoin wallet, the government can go to Google and force Google to unlock your wallet. That's what you don't want. You don't want anybody to even know you have a wallet. So these words are so important. Take the time, guys. It's Bitcoin. It's probably, there's no single greater investment that you can make for yourself or your family or your future children or your future great-great-grandchildren than stacking Bitcoin. And you'll just think it's nothing, put $50 a week into it. If you're somebody who doesn't even have $1,000 to invest, but you can work a couple extra hours every week and you can put $100, $100, you will be so surprised. And think about your 401k. Open your bank account. Do yourself a favor. Go into Fidelity. Go into whatever hedge fund manager, whoever's managing your 401k. Find out how much is in your 401k. You could probably pull it up on an app on your phone. Okay. Figure out how much you've put into your 401k over the last 10 years. Then ask Grok to tell you how much, if you would have invested, over a 10-year period, Grok, I invested $100,000 into my 401k, roughly 4% per month, starting in 2015. So from 2015 to 2025, if I would have put that same amount of money into Bitcoin and not into my 401k, how much money would I have today? And say I assume that I bought on the first of every month. So it'll go back through, it'll find the price of Bitcoin on the first of every month. It'll allocate your position to it. It'll tally it up. And at the end, you'll be like, holy shit. So your money right now is in a 401k, which is controlled by the Rothschild central banks. It's probably all backed up in Tel Aviv somewhere. If you say something, if you're too anti-Semitic, if the government doesn't like you, they're going to debankrupt you. If you claim that anybody's a honeypot, they're going to sue you. And then they're going to take your stocks. They're going to take your assets. They're going to take your wealth. Or you can go to an ATM right now, Bitcoin ATM, with a cell phone number. You can buy a burner phone from Walmart. And you can go there to that ATM with a hat and glasses on. And all you need is a cell phone because they need a number to text to. I want $1,000 in Bitcoin. You put $1,000 bills into the machine, pull out your cell phone, give it your cell phone number. It's going to create a QR code. You're going to scan the QR code, and it's going to send the Bitcoin from the ATM machine to your device, right? Those wallets that I just showed you, the Q cards, they're not registered to your name. So you go to the ATM, you pull out your Q card, you scan the QR code that's on the thing, it's go bloop, and the Bitcoin's going to receive into your wallet. It's that quick. That's how easy it is. So you guys really want an opportunity at escaping the matrix, putting your family to a much better position, projecting your wealth into the future. There's no better investment that you can make today. There's no better way to spend your time than to take the time to understand what Bitcoin is. And we'll come back to this video just like we did the one on LFA TV 3 years from now. And you're going to go, holy shit, Matta was telling us this is the time to buy Bitcoin. We should have listened. Now's the time if you're an 18-year-old kid. You're almost going into summer. Like this summer is going to be your opportunity to grind your ass off. It's February. It's going to be spring soon. You probably got a 90 to a 6 month. Some of those windows lasted for 295 days. The longest stretch where you had opportunities like this to buy Bitcoin at these prices, 290 days. Do one more thing before we take off here. Let's see what the so this window here through summer, the last one in 2022 was 270 something days. And well, actually, let me do these down here. So from the time it broke below the green line to the time it got back above the green line was 217 days. This one in 18 never even hit the green line, and 20 never hit the green line. So this one, well, maybe you had 21 days to buy in that window. We say this one, you might have had 77 days to buy. We go back to 14, you probably had a lot longer of a window, but we can even just say anywhere in this range. 161 days. Okay, so I think you're going to have some pretty good opportunities to buy in these windows. But I think it's summer. I think by the end of summer, I think we're going to be coming up off bottom, and you're not going to have an opportunity. So maybe you got 6 months. We haven't even touched the green line yet. So if we're going to go down there and we're going to tip on that green line, then we're going to run sideways for a period of 70 to 200 something days. Now is your opportunity. 18, maybe you're 20, and you got a place with your buddies. Your rent's about to go up, but you live with your buddies because you want to be able to pick up chicks and take them back to your house. You can't do that at your parents' house. Fuck that shit. Break up with your girlfriend. Break up with everything. Go get a second job. Work 2 jobs for the rest of summer. Put every penny from your second job. Or if your first job will let you work the overtime, that's where the real money's at, right? Overtime, double time, triple time. Any extra hours you can work. Anything that you don't need to live off of. I mean, I drink my breakfast every day. I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to save money, even though I know the bread's poisoning me, right? I try to consume as many eggs as humanly possible, steak here and there. But if you have this ability to stack right now, you could trim off 20, 30, 40 years of your retirement. You technically, I think in one summer, working 40 hours a week, let's just say you get a job doing some type of construction. You're probably making $25 an hour. Let's say your boss is a badass, business is booming right now. The golden ages are here, so you're probably going to be able to work 60 hours a week, right? I just say you can work 60 hours a week at $25 an hour, and you could do that for, let's just say 6 months, 4 times 6, 24. So 24 weeks. That's $36,000. It's almost half a Bitcoin. Okay. So let's just say Bitcoin hit that $60,000 range. I mean, you're getting over half a Bitcoin. If it hits 50,000, you're almost stacking a whole Bitcoin. You're stacking like 3/4 of a Bitcoin. Okay. So, I showed you guys the math on the compounding interest, right? Let's just say you acquire a whole Bitcoin by $60,000. And then it turns into 250,000, right? Because that's where, in my opinion, the next very small milestone Bitcoin's headed to is 250,000. That's a no-brainer. I think it's going to go to 1 million. But if it hits 1 million, you had one Bitcoin you bought for 60,000 and it hits 1 million, you're done. All you have to do is just coast through life for the next 4 years. And your 1 million over that 4-year period is going to turn into 2.68 million. And that's the worst performing 4 years of Bitcoin back to back to back to back. So if you get lucky and you get one whole Bitcoin goes to $1 million this next cycle, it'll probably take 2 years, 3 years to get there. Probably 2 years after it comes up off bottom to get to $1 million. But in 2 years, then all of a sudden you just have to do is just lock that sucker for 4 years. So you do whatever you got to do to acquire one Bitcoin today. You lock it in a treasury for 4 years, and you don't have to worry for the rest of your life. And I've done this, guys. I've went through every shitcoin, chased the fucking shitcoins for 6 years. I was one of the first people on YouTube teaching you guys how to mine Ethereum. Spent 2020 to 2022 investigating shitcoins like Cadena and everything. Avalanche, Solana, Cadena, Ethereum. There's probably not a shitcoin out there that's a layer 1 blockchain that we didn't do it in a deep dive into. And at the end of the day, they all have a CEO. I got burnt like hell on Cadena. Probably lost, I don't know, at least 50, maybe even 100 grand on that shitcoin. And I look back, and if I would have put all of that into Bitcoin, and that wasn't from lack of doing research. I interviewed the entire team. We went through their code. We were teaching ourselves how to code so we could build apps. We did a lot of research into these coins. And Cadena was just one of many. I mean, I spent time digging into Solana, Ethereum, interviewing developers at Harmony, Avalanche, going to, not every crypto event, but many crypto events. And they all sell you the same pipe dream, and they're all full of shit. There's only one Bitcoin, and there'll never be another Bitcoin. It's the greatest opportunity in your lifetime. Buy Bitcoin like your life depends on it. I greatly appreciate everybody. God bless each and every one of you guys. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Troy, good to see you, man. Hopefully you guys are having a great day, man. Dark Lemon, good to see you. Who else we got here? We got Bruce. Good to see you, Bruce. Long time no see, buddy. Great to see you again, my man. We got Katie Cat in here. Good to see you. Henny in here. Dark Lemon. Ken B. Good to see you, my man. And Chubby Cherries. Hopefully you guys, and Oli B6, my man. 6 to 10 months might be a good time to sink your money in. Your thoughts? Yeah, man. I'm 100% with you, bro. That's it, man. I don't think we're ever going to have an opportunity quite like this again for a very long time. I mean, we'll still have the opportunities. They'll come and go. But yeah, I think that this is the main time right now to stack. I don't think you're going to have many opportunities like this again. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, KDA is now 7 cents. No shit. Yeah, that's what I say. That's why I don't shitcoin anymore. It doesn't matter the amount of research, the amount of energy, the amount of time I spend studying. It's like you're starting to really realize that the crypto game was always just one big Ponzi scheme. At the least, every layer 1 blockchain was designed to destroy Bitcoin. You see all these universities. Who controls the universities? Where did all these blockchains spring up from? Harvard, Yale. I forget where Solana and those guys came from, Berkeley or somewhere. It's like all of the Ivy League universities were like, holy shit, we need to figure out a way to destroy Bitcoin. Let's throw a bunch of money at these dorks and tell them, hey, go build blockchains. They'll go build blockchains, and hopefully one of them is a competitor to Bitcoin, and we can psyop the entire world to switching from Bitcoin to whatever shitcoin it is. Then we can buy enough shares of that shitcoin to control it. That's how I think this all played out. I think Sam Bankman-Fried was a Fed. I think he was working for the CIA, or at least his family was. I think he's going to be freed from prison probably in the next 6 to 12 months. He'll be let out. Caroline Ellison is already out of prison, right? So you can tell, like, you don't carry off the biggest Ponzi scheme that literally led to people killing themselves, and you get a slap on the wrist unless you're a Fed. So I think Caroline Ellison was a Fed. I think Sam Bankman-Fried was a Fed. I think Solana and Sam Bankman-Fried's sole mission was to make USDC the number 1 shitcoin in the world so that they could then psyop us into USDC, and then USDC could become, the central bank digital currency. Luckily, Tether held its own. Howard Lutnick, is backing Tether. I don't think USDC is going to be that major psyop that it was supposed to be, but that's what I think. I think it was all a design. Sam Bankman-Fried was supposed to be getting the carbon credits. So when BlackRock launched their carbon credit Ponzi scheme, and you could actually buy, sell, and trade carbon credits, FTX was going to be the exchange that was trading those carbon credits. So then Sam Bankman-Fried was like weeks away from being backstopped by not trillions, but billions of dollars in carbon credits. So at any time, if there was people were trying to make a bank run on Bitcoin, he could have just went over, borrowed money from his carbon credits, used that to buy Bitcoin, and then sold the Bitcoin back to the people that needed it. But they were trying to acquire enough Bitcoin so Sam Bankman-Fried could sell off everybody's Bitcoin and drive the price of Bitcoin to zero. That's what I think happened. Damn him. All smoked weed, buy crypto. Yeah, man. Crypto's fucked, dude. All shitcoins are such a scam. They're just central bank scams. They're lottery tickets. Yeah, you might hit it. That's why we didn't see a shitcoin season this time. That's why there was no altcoin season. Because it became meme season. And everybody's like, why am I going to do research and study this blockchain and do all this when I could just buy this meme coin that's going to 20x? You know, some meme coins were making people millionaires overnight, but not smart. You know, maybe throw $5 or $10 at them once you learn what you're doing just to see how easy it is to get wrecked. But other than that, guys, hopefully you guys had a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm going to keep it short at an hour today, but I just wanted to make this video for all my subscribers and everybody that follows me because it seems like everybody else is talking about going and buying their fucking gold subscription and converting their 401ks and ripping you guys off. I figured I'd give you guys some free advice and just stack some Bitcoin, guys.